Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Health Ministry to take strict action in dengue fight. PM highlights need to invest in education. An election supervisor responds to UN claims.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Jackie Spate.
The Health Ministry will take strict action against those who fail to clean and clear breeding grounds for mosquitoes in their compounds. This comes as more than 800 confirmed cases of dengue fever has so far been recorded by the ministry from all divisional hospitals. Kelly Vadala reports.
It's places like these that allows mosquitoes to breed. Now health officials are carrying out inspections to ensure it's all cleared out, leaving no areas for mosquitoes to multiply.
We are advising people to get rid of the breeding grounds, and we come back after 7 days, after a few days. Then if they are not doing, we are serving them notices. Even we are prosecuting them now. Time has come up that if people don't listen, we prosecute them.
Chan stresses that Fijians need to understand the importance of keeping their surroundings clean to avoid becoming infected.
All public health team, we have resourced them with the transport, we have resourced them with other consumables that they are moving to house inspection, and then we are advising people to get rid of the breeding grounds.
Acting National Advisor for Communicable Diseases Dr. Alicia Sahu Khan says the number of dengue cases can be reduced if people made an effort to clean up their surroundings.
They would issue abatement of nuisance notices if they find households where they have a lot of mosquito breeding and areas where mosquitoes can breed. And this is a normal routine process, and it's continuing with this outbreak. But we cannot do this alone.
The Health Ministry is looking at the implementation of the World Care method in the second quarter of this year. The method reduces the ability of mosquitoes to transmit dengue onto people without suppressing mosquito population and potentially affecting ecosystems. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Investing in education was one of the main points that was highlighted during the opening of the official 20th Conference of Commonwealth Education Ministers meeting in Nadi last night. With around 500 top educators from the Commonwealth convening in Denarau, the message was clear from the top that access to education needs to be a priority. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Each human being denied education is a human being denied opportunity, is what many of these education ministers and delegates are trying to avoid as they look at ways of improving their education systems. Prime Minister Vorenke Bainimarama telling those present that they will continue to revolutionize education in Fiji.
Among other things, we are streamlining the education ministry to be more responsive, and we are working with our teachers to increase their skills base and financially reward our best performers. But for all the challenges, I believe our education revolution is the biggest single thing we have done as a government and as a nation to benefit our people.
Similar sentiments were shared by the former Prime Minister of New Zealand, who says that not investing in education will result in countries being left behind.
We should be engaging young people in the search for solutions. Let's listen to them as to what they have to say about how their societies could be made more peaceful. Our schools are the places to encourage young people to think outside the box, to question, to challenge, to propose answers. Governments may not always be comfortable with that, but in a world where 1.8 billion citizens are aged between 10 and 24, we will ignore the voice of youth at our peril.
The facts also state that education is a foundation for development.
For education to deliver, there needs to be commitment to prioritising support for sustainable development by all stakeholders. Indeed, investment in education is an investment in all 17 SDGs.
The theme for this year's conference is Sustainability and Resilience. Can education deliver? Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
In the lead-up to the Heads of Government meeting in London, Prime Minister Vorenke Bainimarama has expressed his key commitments for the meeting. Bainimarama says he will specifically urge the 53 Commonwealth countries at the meeting to reduce heat-trapping carbon emissions. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Demanding maximum action with maximum urgency, Prime Minister Vorenke Bainimarama wants zero net carbon emissions as soon as possible and to limit average global warming to no more than 1.5 degrees Celsius.
At our Heads of Government meeting in London in April, I will be specifically asking all 53 Commonwealth countries for their commitment. And I urge every nation, as well as non-state stakeholders, to work with Fiji to make a success of the 2018 Town Dialogue, in which we are seeking more ambition from all our nationally determined contributions to reduce heat-trapping carbon emissions, our NDC.
Bainimarama says he will also be pressing for the Blue Charter to be as ambitious as possible to adequately address the threat to our oceans.
I cannot stress enough that the two are interlinked, which is why I am very gratified that among our many successes at the COP23 negotiations in Bonn in November, many in the global community endorsed and are joining our Ocean Pathway Partnership. Vital for the future of Fiji, vital for the future of our planet.
Bainimarama assured the Commonwealth that they can count on Fiji to be at the forefront of this initiative.
We have already shown leadership in this area by introducing the Ocean Pathway at COP and co-chairing with Sweden the World Ocean Conference last year.
The Blue Charter will be a key point of discussion at the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in London in April. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
A moment of silence was observed at the Conference of Commonwealth Meetings yesterday to commemorate the second anniversary of Tropical Cyclone Winston, which slammed into our nation with terrible force on the 20th of February 2016. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Vorenke Bainimarama said Winston was the biggest storm ever to make landfall in the southern hemisphere, packing record winds at its peak of more than 300 kilometers an hour, killing 44 people. While observing a moment of silence, Bainimarama says this is a sad day for Fiji, as thousands of Fijians were left homeless and the overall cost of destruction amounted to 1/3 of our GDP. Bainimarama says homes and schools can be rebuilt, but what can't be replaced are the 44 men, women and children whose lives were cut short by Winston's fury.
There was someone's father, someone's mother, brothers, sisters, grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins. They were ordinary Fijians, the backbone of our nation. And because we are a small country, they were known to many of us, and they mattered to all of us.
Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Saneem says that UN High Commissioner Zaid Al Hussein never met with him, the Electoral Commission or anyone from the Fijian Elections Office. Saneem questions the motives behind the UN High Commissioner making insinuations about the autonomy of the FEO. Saneem spoke at the media training workshop underway in Suva, where he listed the various legal provisions in the Electoral Act and the 2013 Constitution, which protects the independence of the Elections Office and of the Supervisor of Elections. Saneem anticipates there will be more criticism in the lead-up to the election.
We have a classic case of a flyby where the maker of the statement fell victim to bias, politically influenced, probably politically influenced, statements to be drawn by some as the ultimate conclusion on the process in Fiji. We've already seen in some reports in the newspapers. We have already seen how the unsubstantiated statement is being made a political football and now will be tossed around until the conclusion of the elections or maybe thereafter.
Still to come, manslaughter convict cop's 4-year jail term. An NFA chief concerned about fire deaths. Details after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and the Moiviti.
I have another
Recomendação Moticola, onde está ali, na Radio 51, e na Dombivi.
Eu cuidado se ele está ali, na gurara mai na omanyi, na ronga. Gitu tele tele yang gitu benes vale, na gudo rongo. Barrongo na Radio Fiji 1, na Dombivi.
Na Radio Fiji 1, na Dombivi, na bonga ni BNN.
One of the dailies in Papua New Guinea has published a story about Fiji's former High Commissioner to PNG, Romano Tikotikovap, being accused of rape by his Port Moresby housemaid in 2014. Tikotikovap's name wasn't stated, however, there was reference to a high-ranking diplomat from a fellow Melanesian country under the protection of diplomatic immunity. Tikotikovap has denied the allegations and also withdrew his provisional candidacy with the National Federation Party. A 44-year-old man who killed a Samambula vendor has been sentenced to 4 years and 10 months imprisonment. The incident happened at Jitu Estate, Raiwanga in May 2016. Pranita Prakash reports.
Samson Lal was convicted of 1 count of manslaughter by High Court Judge Justice Vincent Pereira on Monday. Lal killed 48-year-old Manuel Das while intoxicated. During the trial, the court heard that the two had been drinking when the deceased started throwing punches at Lal. Lal picked up a knife and stabbed Das. The deceased used to sell goods along Sese Street in Samambula, Suva. Lal will be able to apply for parole after serving 2 years and 10 months. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
18 people died in fires last year, of whom 10 were children. National Fire Authority Chief Executive Ngionila Modetai says this could have been prevented. Catherine Krishna reports.
The National Fire Authority attended to 150 property fires last year. 132 were house fires, 17 commercial fires and 1 an industrial fire.
For the fires that happened, 46 fires were electrical related. And to us, that's a great number of fires that's been happened last year, which is electrically related.
Modeitai says the authority has also seen an increase in arson.
Fire from last year, total fire was 36 altogether. 36, according to our stats.
And people, after they drink grog, and then they put the mosquito coil on and put it on the carpet. And some mosquito coils we got now, things sags down, it doesn't stay up and then burns the carpet and everything.
And probably the previous cases, the one that really hit Fiji, is the one with the grills and all. Actually, we had to change a lot of things at home. It starts from home. It's how you see it, it's how you educate your kids, and parents themselves, they should be the ones to lead by that.
The National Fire Authority says it will be looking at providing more fire safety programs in schools around the country this year. The National Fire Authority is calling on the public to take fire safety measures seriously at all times. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Fire safety at the Waingele Airport in Lambasa has stepped up a notch with the handing over of a newly refurbished fire truck. The truck is an upgrade from the current one that services the airport. Eleanor Tarangaivu has more.
Fully loaded with 5,678 litres of water, 757 litres of foam and 250 kilograms of dry powder, this newly refurbished fire truck is the talk of the town in Lambasa.
This will be also good for Lambasa town. Never know, for emergency, when we need the trucks like this, definitely they come and help us. So it's very good asset for Lambasa.
The fire truck can respond by clearing 0 to 80 kilometers per hour in 21 seconds and has an 80-meter water throw and can discharge a rate of 2,839 liters of water per minute.
Although Lambasa Airport is a Category 4 airport, the newly refurbished fire truck can provide cover for up to a Category 5. This fire truck for Lambasa is part of AFL's vision to improve facilities at our network of 50 airports.
The newly refurbished truck was handed over to the fire station at the Waingele Airport yesterday. The specialized truck will allow the 6 firefighters at the airport to respond to any emergency within 2 minutes.
You can attack the fire even it's not at a standstill, or you've positioned wrong. You can always be fighting fire and you can always be maneuvering and having the control. instead of, you off the water and then you reposition your vehicle. This one here, you pump water, you can drive at the same time. It's called the pump and roll mode.
The fire truck currently used at Weightlifting Airport will be sent to Nandi for an upgrade before it will be used at the airport in Rotuma. Eleanor Turangaiview, FBC News.
20 new barristers and solicitors were admitted to the bar during an admission ceremony at the Suva High Court this morning. While officiating at the event, Chief Justice Anthony Gates said the achievement brings with it greater responsibility. Sainyan Imboila reports.
Being a lawyer is not only about brains and hard work, it's also about being thorough and making sure not to miss anything.
Lawyers are employed to check things, to make doubly sure. If you are slack and sloppy, you will soon have a reputation for making mistakes, and for not being reliable, careful, for not looking after the client's interests.
Justice Gates adds life at the bar is not a bed of roses.
Times for relaxation are not as frequent as TV programs might indicate. There will be a good deal of drudgery and plodding in preparing a case for court. Some of the work will be boring and tedious. But if you work efficiently and as a true professional, you will occasionally enjoy your day in court, win or lose.
For 23-year-old Mbulo Vialele Azaria, age and size don't matter, as it's all about hard work.
Mostly, every law student would agree with me. For broke days and discouragements from some people. You get that a lot. But my advice would be 90% of the success is just showing up, so just show up all the time.
These lawyers have been granted permission by the Judicial Department to practice law in the country. Sainyan Imboila, FBC News.
In sports coming up ahead, former Flying Fijians coach ready for Super Rugby duties. But up next is Rachel with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. ATH records yet another profit. And in Go in Fiji, USP plans to add more accommodation facilities. Stay with us.
Moala rarara ranavika o tikongona tauna singa toka ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na seri.
Ya dora chubuli kurnambili. Ibora ni batu karahan barabinan nga. Do talitakina na wakaronga ng Bula FM number 2 na seri. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na seri.
In business tonight, Amalgamated Telecom Holdings and its group of companies have recorded an interim and unaudited consolidated net profit after tax of over $47 million for the third quarter ending December 31st. This represents 16.5% growth over the net profit of $41 million for the same period last year. ATH says the growth resulted from satisfactory performance in major companies in the group. The full third quarter results included the performance of ATH's new subsidiary, Telecom Vanuatu Limited, which was acquired last year. Sales revenue for the group increased by 21% to over $363 million. And Rocco joins us now with the latest from the money market.
Let's have a look at what's making headlines in the markets today. The US dollar has been fluctuating recently. However, traders are looking forward to Federal Open Market Committee minutes tomorrow to hear about economic and financial conditions. Australia's wage price index was up by 0.6% versus 0.5% as expected. Meanwhile, their annual wage growth rose to 2.1%. An outlook for the next couple of days, we await the US jobs figures and the EU Consumer Price Index, all of which affect the foreign exchange values. And that's all for now. Thank you.
Thanks, Rocco. Looking at today's current exchange rate sets this morning for the Fijian dollar. Our dollar rose against the major currencies, our trading partners. Australia and New Zealand, and was also up against the euro and the Japanese yen. As for the commodities market, oil prices were down slightly at $61.37 a barrel. Gold continued to drop down $15 to close at $1,329 an ounce, and silver was down as well to close at $16.47 an ounce. And in Fiji tonight, the University of the South Pacific has been facing a student accommodation shortage at the Ladala campus for some time now. To address this issue, USB plans to invest $20 million and build 444 more rooms. Vice Chancellor Rajesh Chandra says both regional and local students will benefit from this. The new building will be the 12th hall of residence. The first 220 rooms will be ready by the 1st of July 2019, while the other 222 rooms are expected to be completed a year later.
There's a lot of pressure on student accommodation at Laudala. So we are planning to build 440-bed hostel so that the students from Fiji and other countries who want to stay on the campus can have the opportunity to do that.
And that's it from business this evening. Now to sports. Jamie's back with the latest.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. Coming up, the latest from the Fiji Sevens camp. And Vai progressing well towards Commonwealth gold medal dream. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1. इट्स सो हॉट.
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट.
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरी से. मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं. मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट. आई लव मिर्ची एफएम.
हमें स्पिन तो हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे.
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट.
Fiji Airways men's sevens coach Gareth Baber believes his team has the potential to win both the USA and Canada tournaments. The side rounded up preparations in Nandi this afternoon and depart for Las Vegas later tonight. Vasil Prasad with this report.
The national side are not leaving any loopholes in its preparation, even training hours before boarding the flight to the US.
Yeah, we're going well. Obviously, we've been up here for the day today. We fly out tonight. We trained this morning against one of the local sides, and we just trained again then with ourselves. It started to rain, which is the first time I've actually been up in Nandi when it's raining, actually.
Baber not mincing his words on what he expects from his men.
The players know, they know their responsibility. The way you deal with it is just staying consistent with the way you coach and the way you are as a person. It's not about me, it's about developing these players. They're the ones that go on the field and do it.
All players have been given the thumbs up to travel, with only a slight injury concern.
Injuries, which is good to write home about. Callie's got a little bit of a niggling ankle, but he's worked through that, and we're working with the physios to make sure that he's where he needs to be. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been selected. Really, it's just to get our focus and make sure that we put in the performances that we did, obviously, in Hamilton.
The winners in 2018 in New Zealand, Fiji!
The Hamilton win is a distant memory. The hard yards is just the beginning of just like a long-haul flight to the US tonight. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Former Flying Fijians backline coach Tabai Matson is pleased with his return to Super Rugby with the Chiefs this season. Matson, who was head coach of English Premiership Rugby Club Bath last season, is excited about the potential and caliber of players he will work with this year. Vasil Prasad reports. Meanwhile, Waratah's fly half Kurtley Beale hopes for a grand start when his side faces the Stormers in Super Rugby this weekend. Being one of the most experienced players in the Fiji Warriors under-23 side, Flying Fijians halfback Frank Lomani is ready to deliver at the upcoming World Rugby Pacific Challenge. Lomani says while it won't be easy, he believes the team is capable of winning the competition. Luciana Tangedakimba reports.
Already making sacrifices in training, Flying Fijians halfback Frank Lamani says he expects a hard physical clash.
It'll be a tough match against the Pacific Island brothers, the Tongans and the Samoans, going along with the Japan team. I know it's going to be a physical game like last year. A lot of physical games, and yeah, I think we're going to come victorious in preparing for the game.
Lomani adds he will use the Pacific Rugby Challenge to prepare for more tournaments ahead.
It's just to start in the 9, and I'm in no competition with no one. I'm just giving my best and try and be selected to the June test for the Flying Fiji.
Fiji under-20 rep Apakuki Navanawalu is trying his best to gel in well with the experienced players.
I can do the same thing as they did because they went through the system, so try and follow in their footsteps too.
The national under-23 side will play alongside Samoa A, Tonga A and Junior Japan in the World Rugby Pacific Challenge, scheduled on the 9th, 13th and 17th of next month at Suva's ANZ Stadium. Luciana Tangidakimbao, FBC Sports.
Flying Fijians lock Leone Nakarawa has been nominated along with 9 other athletes for the 2017 Sportsman of the Year award. Nakarawa, who plays for French club Racing 92, is the only rugby player nominated for an award at the annual event. Meanwhile, the Flying Fijians have been nominated for Team of the Year and Coach John McKee for Coach of the Year.
On Friday the 23rd of Feb, we're having the nominees night at the FMF gym. And that is the night that we will recognize our sponsors and the athletes who've been selected for the awards night. And I'm pleased to announce right now that we have 81 athletes that have been selected.
Weightlifting gold medal prospect Apollonia Vaivai will be using the Australian International Open this weekend to gauge her form ahead of the Commonwealth Games in April. The 27-year-old, who has recently returned from a 2-week training camp at the Oceania Weightlifting Institute in New Caledonia, departs tomorrow to compete in the women's 75-kilogram category in Brisbane. Meli Tavanga reports.
Ranked number 1 in the Commonwealth, Apollonia Vaivai says she wants nothing but a gold medal finish at the Commonwealth Games.
Looking at the gold medal at the moment, I'm working hard to achieve that goal that I'm trying to get.
The Pacific Mini Games gold medalist says competing in Australia this weekend will give her an indication of where she stands so far in her preparations.
The preparation has been tough, the journey is tough, and this preparation for this coming competition, the International Australia, is just to prepare myself for the Commonwealth Games. Just going to do where I'm up to at the moment. So from there I'll work on to do better and before the Commonwealth Games.
Coach Joe Vueti says Vaivai is a top bet but knows the competition will be tough.
She's looking good of producing good results, and of course, I mean, she's been supported very well by the Federation, and hopefully that we'll keep fit like this until the Commonwealth Games, no injuries, especially in training, so hopefully that she will do well and she will make Fiji proud.
Vaivai won a bronze medal in the last Commonwealth Games in Glasgow in the 75 kg in 2014. Meli Tavanga, FBC Sports.
Lionel Messi has broken his goal-scoring drought against Chelsea to earn Barcelona a valuable away draw in this morning's round of 16 Champions League clash. Chelsea's Willian scored first before Messi equalized. The Lautoka football team is ready for its third OFC Champions League appearance. The Blues represented Fiji at the 2010 and 2011 Champions League competition. Coach Kamal Swami says after being in camp for nearly a month, they have improved in many areas of the game.
We're in the camp for our league, so it has improved our fitness level and also our system of play, which will be very helpful. I think everybody is okay, doing well, and we have got our physio who's always checking on our boys, so there is no problem with the injuries.
That's it from sports tonight. Join Angie later on with weather, and in the world of the weird and wonderful, A look at how some are celebrating the success of the latest film by Marvel Studios' Black Panther. That's coming up.
Bula, keron mai singatoka, keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Uti ko minasong buti ko lang do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina do moi viti.
Kaya ko sila tale, naguraramay na umani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu pinasabali, nagundurong barong na Radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nando moi viti na honga ni BNN.
In new media tonight, Apple has released security updates for its operating systems to address a bug that causes apps to crash when a certain Indian symbol is displayed. The bug discovered last week allows the Indian character to shut down iOS apps and prevent them from opening back up. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, should authorities start spraying dengue-prone areas?
I think citizens of Fiji should just wait around for the government to come and spray the areas. I think they should take up the initiative to clean up their own compound, like empty the water from the flower pots and stuff.
Responsibility to spray around the environment, but it is our responsibility to take care of our environment.
Ministry of Health has done their part, and the relevant authorities should work together with the ministry to help create more awareness to the people, and the onus is on us to clean our compound.
I think the Ministry of Health should act quickly now to save a lot of people.
It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. We're almost ending the hump day and there's 2 more sleeps till the happy weekend. But let's not go there as yet. Let's talk about today's conditions. Well, it hasn't been much favorable. In the west, much cloudy with light rain. Eastwards from Peck Harbor to Suva, it's been incredibly rainy. It even got heavier in the afternoon, so expect more showers later tonight. And up north, the clouds gave way to some sunshine for a while before rain took over. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots with moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide will be at 10:40 p.m. with high tide at 4:49 a.m. Sunrise will be at 6:02. For tomorrow, those living in the Eastern Division ensure that your umbrellas accompany you as there is forecasts of rainy periods. Tomorrow's temps, majority of the centers will be moderate in the low 30s. And looking further on to Friday, our personal favorite day, it looks to be a great day with fresh winds. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In the world of the weird and the wonderful, it's all about the movie Black Panther. Black Panther is a certified Hollywood blockbuster, raking in more than $200 million in North America during its opening weekend, setting several records. The film's success comes as no surprise to the fans that packed theaters on the south side of Chicago to celebrate a film that marks a welcome departure from the Hollywood norm. Recapping the main stories, Health Ministry to take strict action in dengue fight. PM highlights need to invest in education, and election supervisor responds to UN claims. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question this week, we are asking, should strict penalties be implemented against those pedestrians who use mobile phones while crossing roads? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day, taken by Alice McPherson. This is the hidden paradise of Savusavu. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
On the Radio Fiji 1 and the Moi Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Usiku minasoma mutikola untuk talita na radio Fiji kena ndomivi.
Ya kuado silitale na murara mai na omanyi na ronga gitu talita kiri yang gitu Venezuela na rongo barrongo na radio Fiji na ndomivi.
Na radio Fiji na ndomivi na bonga ni BNN.